my channel. My name is Ingrid and today I'm going to be showing you a very long overdue review of a product, and this is the Naked 3 palette which I have here. And I must confess I have had this for quite a while, but because I wasn't one of the first people to have the Naked 3 palette, I didn't feel in a rush to review it as soon as I received it, because I preferred to use it for a longer amount of time and like that offer you a much more concise and a realistic review of it, having used it for at least a couple of months. I suppose most of you have heard of the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. For those of you who don't know, Urban Decay is an absolutely amazing make, and they are very well known for their other two installments of the Naked eyeshadow palettes. But this one is different from the other two ones, and actually there aren't any other palettes in the market at the moment that only cater for pinks and rose golds and taupes. So this palette is quite special in a way. So this is the packaging it comes in. It's an absolutely beautiful packaging, and I've actually kept it because it's really, really beautiful. And inside you get the eyeshadow palette, which I'll be showing you now, and you also get 4 mini samples of their different eyeshadow primers. And I do like the idea that I can choose the different types of primers that they've got, because I've only ever tried the original one. But on the other hand, I don't like that it's a sachet, because sachets will dry up quicker. So if I do open it, and I haven't yet, I will have to use it all as soon as possible before they actually dry out. So here are the little sachets behind. And then we get onto the palette itself, and it comes in this metallic casing. It's very much like the Naked 2 case, which actually I liked a lot, but many people didn't. And this one is sort of like ridged in a way, and the colours are different. So this has got like a rosy colour with the letters in gold. And inside you have the mirror. I still have the plastic on it, and you get the whole array of eyeshadows plus a dual-sided brush. So this is actually quite a good brush. I do have the same brush from the Naked 2 palette, and I have used it quite a lot, and it's okay. I mean, I don't think it's as good as say my MAC 217 and 239 brushes, but they're actually very, very good. So you're not getting a crappy brush with it. You're actually getting one that you will be able to use. And now onto the palette itself, and here we have all these eyeshadows. You get 12 different eyeshadows, and there are different finishes. So you have some matte ones, and you have some shimmery ones, and you also have some satin finished shadows. And these are all neutral eyeshadows, but they do tend to be on the rosy side, or maybe taupe, but also towards rose. So if you don't like pink eyeshadows on your eyelids, this is not the eyeshadow palette for you. So I'm going to speak a little bit more in depth about the different eyeshadows and which ones I like most and which ones I like the least. So starting off on the left side of the palette, we have the lighter shade. So it does go from light to dark, which I always find is very useful. The first shade here is called Strange, and it's a very light matte colour. This is a very good shadow to place on your brow bone and also on the inner corners, and it's very good for blending. This second colour is called Dust, and it is actually a very dusty colour. This is mostly shimmer rather than anything else. A lot of people have complained that this shadow is not very pigmented, but I like it as a shadow to place a little bit of shimmer, so I use it as that. The next shade is called Burnout, and it's a pinky shadow, and it's sort of the pinkest one of the whole palette. And I really like this shadow a lot. It's satiny, and it's very easy to work with, and it's got good pigmentation. The next shadow is called Limit, and Limit is a matte eyeshadow, and it's also pinky toned, and this is very nice to place on the crease and to blend the other shadows. The next shadow is called Buzz, and it's another of my favorite shadows, and this one is also a pinky toned color, and this one is darker than the other one. The other one was slightly peachier, Burnout, but this one is more rosy toned than the other one. And Buzz is also a satin eyeshadow. It's got a little bit more shimmer than Burnout and is a very, very nice colour too. The next one is called Trick, and Trick is the only golden, true golden colour in the whole set. I like this shadow very much because you can use it to create a bit of a different look. So sometimes I wear a rosy toned colours on the eyelid, and then I use Trick on the bottom lash line, and it really makes a difference, and I like this colour very much. The next colour is called Nuna, and it's their darkest matte shadow, and this one is an absolutely gorgeous colour to play with, and this one is sort of like a rosy taupe, and it's so easy to blend and lovely to work with, and it's got loads of pigmentation, and I'm wearing it today in my crease. Next shade is called Liar, and Liar is a satin taupey colour, and it's also got a slight pink tone to it, and this is a very easy colour to work with, and it's very pigmented, and it's the one that I'm wearing on most of my eyelid today. Next up we have Factory, and Factory is a browner colour. It's also taupe, but it's more brown in tone than Liar, and it's also satin, and it's also quite easy to work with. Next up we have Mugshot, and Mugshot looks quite similar to Factory in a way, but I do find that Mugshot is perhaps a little bit cooler toned and not as brown. Next we have Dark Side, and Dark Side is almost matte. It does have a little bit of sparkle when you look at it, but when you work with it, it's almost matte, and it's one of the darkest shades apart from the darker one. And the last colour is called Black Heart, and I really love the name, and Black Heart is a black eyeshadow with pink shimmer in it, and if you use it as an eyeliner, you won't notice the pink shimmer in it very much, but it does kick up a little bit of dust and a fallout, so you have to make sure you clean up afterwards. So after having used this palette for quite a while now, I do have a few looks that I will link now down below so that you can check out. I must say that I'm very happy with this eyeshadow palette. I really felt I had to pick it up when I saw that it was mostly rosy colours, because I do have green eyes and I do feel that they complement my eye colour very, very nicely. Nevertheless, there are one or two things that you do have to take into consideration if you're thinking of buying this palette. First of all, I really suggest you try some pink eyeshadows before you buy this, because most of the looks that you will achieve with this palette will be pinky toned. So if you don't like that, if you think that it makes you look bruised, or if it makes you look not quite right, well then perhaps this is not the eyeshadow palette for you. Another thing that I'd like to mention about this eyeshadow palette is that it's not really the most versatile palette. I mean, if it's your only eyeshadow palette, you have to take into consideration all your looks will look rosy toned and taupe. You won't have any other types of colours in here. So in that sense, I do prefer the Narcissist eyeshadow palette if it's your only eyeshadow palette, because you do have some purple toned shadows, some lighter ones, some darker ones, some cool toned, warm toned colours, browns. You know, there's more of a variation. In this case, the Naked 3 palette is only rose toned colours and taupes, and this one in the middle, which is a bit more of a gold colour. So I think it's a wonderful addition to your makeup collection if you do have other eyeshadow palettes, and especially if you have others of the Naked palette range. But if this is going to be your only eyeshadow palette, I don't think I would go for this one whatsoever. So perhaps this is not the best eyeshadow palette for traveling, and perhaps it's not the most versatile eyeshadow palette, but it's so well put together. I really like how you have several different matte eyeshadows to blend with the rest. I really like how they all work together seamlessly. All the colours go well with each other, so you can choose any combination of colours from this palette and they will all look absolutely gorgeous. So you really don't have to think much with this palette. You just take it and play around with it and make a combination with it, and you'll have a wonderful eyeshadow look. So basically, reaching a conclusion, I'm really happy with this eyeshadow palette. The quality is outstanding. I mean, Urban Decay do make some of the best eyeshadows out there. You do have a little bit of fallout with some of the glitterier eyeshadows, but you just have to clean up afterwards and then there's no problem whatsoever. They are very beautiful, very pigmented, very easy to work with. They all go well together. So it is a really, really quality eyeshadow palette. You do have to think whether this is the sort of eyeshadow palette that will fit in your collection and whether it will go with your skin tone and eye colour. But other than that, beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow palette, and Urban Decay have really done an absolutely amazing job with this eyeshadow palette. So if you're thinking whether the quality is good or not, it really is. It does deliver. So I'm happy with it and I would purchase it again. So I hope you have found this review helpful in any way. I do think that it's great that I waited this long to review it because I am giving you my full honest opinion, and I really have used it very many times. It is one of my favourite eyeshadow palettes, so if you're thinking of picking it up, do go and take a look at it because it's a wonderful, wonderful palette. If you've liked this video, please press thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like that you won't miss any of my videos. And see you in my next video. Bye!